So hi Keerthana.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. So first of all, congratulations on scoring 480 and being one of the school toppers.
Thank you, sir.
So when I think of Keerthana, right, from my class, the first thing that comes to my mind is math. The way you solve math and the way you approach problems, right? So you scored 99 in your math,
Yes,
right?
sir.
That's the highest among the three subjects.
Yeah.
So you scored a 99, almost a centum. Okay. So can you tell me what exactly was the strategy that you followed so that you could achieve that number?
Okay, so basically, I loved math. My opinion on subjects, on learning any subject, is you need to develop an interest on it instead of hating the subject or looking at it with a hatred. You need to first not necessarily like the subject, but not see it with an aversion.
Yeah.
So for that's what I did first, and then I slowly looked at the NCRT textbook. Was the first thing I always go through.
Okay.
I read through the whole NCRT textbook.
Okay.
I work through the whole NCRT textbook. But my main mantra for math was R.D. Sharma.
Okay.
I solved the whole textbook before I did my exams.
Yeah.
But then it was not in one go. It was not like 3 weeks before the exam or 2 weeks before the exam. It was right when my teacher taught that particular portion. If
Yeah.
Vector algebra was taught, let's say yesterday, I go home, I do vector algebra in my NCRT textbook and in R.D. Sharma.
Yeah.
So constant working of R.D. Sharma helped me through the process.
Yeah.
And with R.D. Sharma, they covered a lot of extensive topics which were not in the NCRT textbook. So you have an edge over the others when you do a lot of different kinds of problems instead of focusing on single ones.
That's perfect. So that brings me to the point saying that you focused on consistency rather than piling up things and working in the last
Yes,
minute
sir.
instead of last minute preparation.
Um,
That's right.
Almost like since my 7th, 8th grade, I never worked in the last minute. I kept studying what teachers taught me on that particular day. Maybe that is what helped me throughout, because it was not a forced process right only in 11th and 12th, but rather I did it from a very early stage.
That's
So
right.
that it did not feel new for me during 11th and 12th to
That's
study consistently.
That's right. So I get a point. So one point I would like to convey is like you told that you solved a lot of problems, right? So this is a point which I wanted to share it also. Like when we see at math, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Many students see it like a subject with formula. They don't understand that there is a theory involved in it. So, and
True.
the second part that we hear from many of them is solve 20 problems a day, at least practice 30 problems a day. This is what I commonly hear from many people saying. But I believe it's not quantity, it's the quality that is going to play an important role.
Exactly.
So I say that instead of solving 20 problems, solve 5 problems, but solve those 5 problems in 4 different ways, which still brings you to 20.
Exactly.
Right?
You understand the problem in different dimensions,
Yes.
because one problem cannot be solved in just one way.
Yes.
They have different dimensions.
That's right.
To it.
So have you ever done that, and has it ever helped you, like this kind of a practice was followed by you?
Yes. For integrals, there was never one particular way to solve it.
Exactly.
In R.D. Sharma, if I solved it in one way, but I still get the answer, I will refer in the internet. They'll give you a different interpretation of the same sum. And then you will also solve that sum sometimes in the class. Yeah. There'll be a different way to solve the sum, but eventually you will reach the same answer.
Yeah.
But what it means is different people have different ways of thinking or looking at the particular problem and solving it. That's right. So you will get an idea. You may not need it at that particular point of time, but when you reach a particular question in the exam, you may not be able to solve it in one way, but then you will remember others how they solved it in the different way. That's right. And then you'll be able to implement, and I think you'll be able to crack that particular question. So
that brings the point saying that practice well, it will help you on the doomsday.
Exactly.
Right? On the day of exam, you need not be scared. Whatever, even if you get stuck, you will be in a position to recollect some of the other methods so that you don't feel stressed.
Yes, sir.
Right? So I think the same is applicable even with the other subjects. Like when you talk about, for that matter, any subject that we study, I think it works in the same way.
Very true.
Right? So the next question that I have in my mind is, like, one of the concerns I could see in many students is the change in pattern of exam. Like, the pattern used to be, whenever we think of CBSE, people used to say it's only a theory exam, you just mug it up and write, it's going to work. But in the past 3 years, the pattern has been changing. They have brought in the questions like MCQs, the assertion reason based questions, case based questions. Like, when this kind of a change happened, the first challenge that we'll find is we'll not find many sample papers or the previous year questions that were available. So it is like something we need to guess and say, okay, if this question was given, it is converted into MCQ, this is how we need to solve. Like that, is there anything that you followed to overcome this challenge?
For me, honestly, from 10th to 11th, it was a big jump because NCR, till then NCRT was different, and then 11th NCRT was different. I felt that in the very start, and then I knew I needed somebody to help me or guide me through, and that's when I came to know about Learning Room. Actually, it helped me a lot. Rather than getting books, it felt like if there is somebody, a personal person to guide you through, you will be able to crack those questions as well, because teachers will have more experience about how the questions may appear even though the pattern has changed, because they have seen that through their career, and then they'll be able to interpret it in MCQs as well as subjective type as well. So I personally think that guidance from teachers helped me a lot through by in attending those kind of objective type questions and stuff.
That's perfect, Keerthana. So this brings to the next question. Like, see, the best way of learning something is, I feel like you teach someone, you get more knowledge, right? So having this point in mind, how did you actually follow a study pattern? Did you study individually, or did you have a group to study? Like, if there was a group, did you help anyone, or you took help from any of your peers?
Actually, I'm more of an individual study person, but still, like when we sit around in the class during snacks or lunch, people will come up to me. They'll be like, "Hey, how did you solve this sum?" or any doubt. I would never hesitate to answer, and when I answer, I'll answer it completely, saying its history and its future, so that I will also remember what it is. The concept will get registered in my mind once again. They will also be able to understand. I am an individual study person, but I never shy from helping others out.
Others. So did you ever take help from others also? Like any of your peers?
Yeah, obviously you need to work as a team to grow. You will grow as well as they'll also grow.
That's right.
So definitely I did ask help, like physics and all. I was not that much strong. So I used to go to my friends. I used to be like, hey, can you explain this concept? I used to ask like help from those people as well.
So the reason I asked this question is many of them have the hesitation.
Yeah.
Like they have this instinct, I'll not say instinct. Many of them have this inferiority complex, saying that if I ask this question, they will judge me. So
I mean, you're going to grow out of it, so you're not supposed to hesitate to ask for help.
So that's right. So there needs to be a small shift in the mindset, right? So those who are thinking in that way, I think they need to slightly correct themselves, and there is nothing wrong in asking whether it is your friends or it is going to be your teachers.
Exactly,
right?
Sir.
Everybody is the same.
I mean, teachers, if you ask twice or thrice, they'll scold you for a bit, but they'll know that you're not understanding it, and they'll definitely help you because they are really nice people, right?
That's right. So this brings me to the next question. Like, how did your teachers, in the school and outside, like actually have helped you to balance your time?
So for me in 11th, my teachers were pretty helpful, but I felt I needed extra help. So I came to Learning Room, which turned out to be pretty amazing, because the way you taught physics was very helpful, because at that point of time, I did not understand even a single word in physics. When you taught it in much better way, in a way that we could understand, not just mug up the concepts, it felt like I was being comfortable in that particular subject. So yeah, in 11th and 12th, I did not study forcibly. Rather, I was like,
You enjoyed.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So that's a point to which I wanted to put it again. So to put it precise, right? Many of the, like this generation, at least I feel that study should not be a burden.
Yeah,
rather it should be an experience.
Yeah, instead of like learning what is right inside the textbook, I would ask people to explore more out of the textbook. Because if you just read what is in the textbook, it would restrict your knowledge of the particular concept. And that's what I also did. When I read through the textbook of NCRT, I used to go to Google, search more about that particular concept. I used to look for videos, learn more, so that the concept will stay in your mind for a longer time. It will not be restricted only to that particular set of points.
That's right. So since you used Google and you told about the textbooks and Google, right? So this is one more myth many people have, like online classes are actually useless. Like I just wanted to find your opinion on this. Like, do you think technology is actually helping you guys to do things better, like online plus a online plus an offline, which I call it as a hybrid model? Is that helping you?
It is helpful if the other end, the students end, are really focused on what they're doing while sitting in front of the monitor. They should really have a restriction, or it's not really a restriction, a focus and a steady goal of what they should be doing in that particular time, instead of surfing, deviating from what you from the studying point of view. If you deviate, it's not going to help. But otherwise, to learn more, online is the hybrid model is definitely very helpful, according to me.
Right. So the next question I have is regarding your extracurricular. Like, apart from studies, what were the other things that you do it? And my main question is, did you have to sacrifice on any of the passions like you had, like you wanted to do music or dance or whatever it is, whatever passion you had? Was there a situation where you had to sacrifice because you are in a year where you are facing boards?
Actually, no. I used to go for keyboard and dance classes. Unfortunately, they had to stop because online was not for me. But then I never left those like hobbies. I used to continuously play keyboard when I had free time, dance. It was more like I'll study for 1.5 hours. I'll know when my concentration is going down. I know when I'm not able to understand that particular concept. I'll take a break. I'll go for dancing. I'll play keyboard for some time, and then I'll come back up to study, which actually it helped me to study even better, concentrate even better, because you're loosening your mind from the studying point of view, and then you're doing something which will actually improve your creative process, which will stimulate your mind to study even better. So hobbies actually help me to score much better.
That's a perfect point. Like, you're saying that you played a keyboard that could actually help you increase your speed of grasping as well.
Exactly.
Right? It helped you concentrate more. So there's one point, I wanted to stress on that, because many think that you should not do anything. You should only focus on your studies throughout 12th, which I don't believe in. So that is the reason I had to bring that
people
question.
should not give up on their passion just because of studies. Because studies is a part of it, not the whole thing.
That's a beautiful point. So coming to the next question, like, we did all these things, right? Like, you do all these things to face the final exam. Like, can you tell me the study pattern that you actually followed? Like, can you break it into the months where you targeted to complete the syllabus, take up the revision and the mock tests, and then you were completely ready to face the exam whenever they announced the date?
So first, I would like to say how I did my studies, how my study pattern was throughout a particular day. So I wake up around 6 o'clock. I made sure that I got sleep every single day. That's what I want to stress out. People are starting to give up sleep. They're starting to do all-nighters, which I feel will create much more stress for you, because you were awake all day, so you won't be able all night, so you won't be able to concentrate on the day's part of work. So I made sure I slept by 10:30 and woke up at 6 o'clock. But when I wake up at 6 o'clock, I'll refresh, and then for one solid 1 hour I'll study, sir. And then I go to school, come back home, take a break for 1 hour, maybe play keyboard or dance or paint or do something, and then I'll again sit for 1 hour. I'll know until my concentration's on and I'm really good to go. I'll study. I'll take a 5-minute break if I'm not feeling good. About like I feel like I'm wavering somewhere or something. I'll take a break. I'll sit. This will happen until like around 10:30 constantly. But what I do is I make sure if I sit for some time, I'll study with my 100% concentration and my full potential. So at that point of time, all the concepts will be in my head like for a really good while. Around for in the overall view, school started around March, but then tuition started around February itself. So I went along with a learning room. The pattern was perfect for me. It felt like it fit in right in my plan. So whatever you took, I used to follow. I used to read on that particular day itself. I used to study. It was a very spontaneous work. And then when you completed the portions, I was also done with the portions, and I was able to revise. Like the revisions were very helpful for me because it fit right into my pattern. That's it. It was very perfect. So when we completed the portions, I was like, yes, I'm ready to write my exams.
That's right. So by October you were ready, actually.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Completely.
That shows the confidence. No? So it is all achieved because of the consistency part which you spoke on.
True.
You sleep at 10:30, you wake up at 6 o'clock, you have a routine, you followed it, and
Yes.
you were in par with whatever was happening in the curriculum part.
Yeah, yes.
Yes. So that is a very good point. Keerthana, the next question that I have is, like, what is your plan after 12th? Like, when we had discussion, many times you have told me that you wanted to get into architecture, right? Like, how did you actually, what are you doing for it?
So for architecture, I have to write 2 entrance exams. One is JEE Paper 2 and another is NATA. JEE Paper 2 is a lesser known exam because a lot of people think, if I say JEE Paper 2, a lot of people think that I'm giving the second attempt. Instead, they don't know that it has a different set of subjects. It basically had math, aptitude, and drawing part.
Yeah.
So I used to go for coaching because the architecture aptitude subject was a lesser known subject, and I needed to be guided for it. There were a lot of facts that professional architects had to take for us. So I went to tuitions. I went to a coaching class from 11th grade onwards, which was a weekly once class for 4 hours, and that's it. I was and I did my part. I did self study. I went through a lot of facts in YouTube and Google and all. Okay. I was able to prepare for it.
Okay, you prepared for it. Like, after your exam, like, what have you scored, and what is the next step that you're planning to take?
So for in JEE Paper 2, God willing, I scored.
So just to confirm people, JEE Paper 2 is BArch paper.
It's a BArch paper which has math, aptitude, and drawing.
Yes,
it's a different paper. It's not the PCM paper. I got 99.8 and an All India rank of 100.
Perfect.
And in NATA first attempt, I got 159 on 200. NATA is basically another aptitude exam which does not have drawing. They've just converted it into a computer-based exam. So that consists of architecture and general aptitude. In that, on 200, I scored 159.
Very
so
good.
I'm just waiting for the JOSA counselings to start, and then let's see.
So wish you all the best for your career.
Thank you, sir.
So the last question that I have in mind is, like, is there anything that you would like to, you feel that you could have done better? Given another chance, is there anything you feel that you could have done better in your 12th grade?
I feel like I should have loved physics more. That is the only regret I have. I feel like I didn't gel with it until the end, very end, until I got my marks too, because I felt like I should have understood the subject more. That was my only regret. Other than that, I don't think I felt whatever I did was perfect.
Okay, that's good. So anything like you would like to convey to your juniors, like you want to say that you don't do these mistakes?
Don't give up on sleep. Very important. Sleep's very important. At the same time, don't give up on your passion. But at the same time, they should put their 100% when they're sitting. Like, consistency and concentration are very important for anybody to perform really good, not only in studies, in everything.
In anything. Yeah.
So that's concentration on what you do. You're not supposed to waver if when you're sitting for something work.
Some work, any work. It need not be study. You sit for any work. You're playing keyboard, play only keyboard.
Yes, sir.
Don't think of anything.
Exactly.
That's what, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's a beautiful point, Keerthana, and that brings to the end of our session. And I had a really nice time discussing.
Even I had a wonderful time, sir. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.